Einen wunderschönen herzlich willkommen zurück zu einer weiteren Folge von Lamplight City. Ja, wir haben in der letzten Folge den Pearson hier wegbekommen, den Schießhund, den ganz dollen. Und ja, wir können uns jetzt den Tatort hier untersuchen, hoffentlich.
An invitation to the Gascon Grand Dame's Ball. It seems it was held 2 nights ago at the Gascon Supper Club.
Das sieht schön aus, hier das
Definitely
Bild.
too young to be Miss Lathan. Perhaps a relative? No title. I doubt it's a diary. People rarely leave those things laying out in the open.
Okay, ich dachte, wir könnten es triggern, aber vielleicht müssen wir mit ihm jetzt sprechen über die Zustände hier, ne?
Begging your pardon, officer.
Yes, what is it, sir?
How long have you been on the force, officer?
2 months, sir.
And how's it treating you so far?
This is where I was meant to be.
That's good to hear.
Parsons mentioned you used to be a detective?
I was, yes, for 15 years. It wasn't always easy, but I loved every minute of it.
Parsons goes on about how he's got his eye on becoming a detective, but I don't know if I'd be able to handle it.
Is that right?
Yes, he's up for review. I think he's trying to impress Snelling to improve his chances.
Do you enjoy working with Officer Parsons?
If I'm being honest, he can be a bit much sometimes.
Trust me, you're not the only one who feels that way. I didn't have much interaction with him when I was a detective, but the few times I did weren't very pleasant.
I could tell he doesn't seem to care much for you. Although I don't think he cares much for anyone except the chief, and that's only because he's the one who gives out the promotions.
Das stimmt.
What was Chief Snelling doing here?
He was inspecting the crime scene.
Yes, but why was he involved? Is there something special about it that would require the chief of police to look into it?
Well, someone thought it might be related to the big case we're not supposed to talk about.
You mean the
Ah,
mass murderer?
Yes, sir. I could see why the chief is upset that the news has gotten out.
And is it related?
No, I don't believe so. But the news reports have been getting the public on edge.
Of course. The less information there is, the easier it is for rumors to start spreading.
Exactly. Chief Snelling has a lot of fires to put out.
If that's the case, it's too bad he didn't get to Miss Lathan in time.
oh, der war böse.
Is there anything you can tell me about Desiree Lathan?
I couldn't really say.
Come now, I'm trying to help this investigation. Any small detail would be useful.
Well, I haven't really looked over the crime scene too much. It's rather gruesome, you see.
Is the body still here?
Yes, what's left of it at any rate. Miss Lathan was only identified by the tattoo on her foot.
I see. Has there been much progress here?
Snelling and Parsons examined the scene, that's all I know.
Do you think I might have a look, now that the initial investigation's been conducted?
I'm afraid that's out of the question, sir. I have my orders.
Officer Kane, I'm trying to aid this investigation. There may have been something overlooked by the others.
If Parsons were to catch you, my career would be over.
Trust me, you won't be back for some time. I swear on my honor as a former member of the New Bretagne police.
All right, I suppose you can go in for a moment, but please be quick about it.
Thank you, Officer Kane. I promise this will stay between us.
I just love rookie officers. They're so gullible. I once got one to shine my shoes for a week after convincing him it was department policy. Good times.
Thanks for your time, officer.
Not a problem.
Okay, wir speichern aber mal. Ich weiß nicht, ob es hier wirklich sowas wie einen Zeitaufwand Dingensbummens gibt, ne? Ach, hey.
That's certainly a pungent aroma. I can see why the officer stuck to the living room.
Surprisingly modest quarters for a Grand Dame. You'd never guess she could buy out the likes of you and me 1,000 times over.
Auf alle Fälle ist der Brand hier lang gelaufen, ne?
Doesn't look as though this fireplace has been used in a long time. I suppose we can rule it out as the source.
Wobei, wenn man sich das hier mal anguckt, hier scheint auch ein Brandherd gewesen zu sein. Genauso wie unten, als ob das hier unten angefangen hat zu brennen.
Some crumpled up letters. They look to be of the romantic variety.
They're from the same person, one Peter Andrews.
It's always sad to see a case of unrequited love. I'm thinking we should find out who this Peter Andrews is.
Good idea.
Okay. Liebste Desiree, ich bitte dir mein Herz, auch wenn ich dir nicht meine Hand anbieten kann. Wenn nur die Umstände anders wären, warum müssen Leben und Liebe so grausam sein? Ich muss dich weiterhin aus der Entfernung lieben und anbeten. Ich kann nur hoffen, dass diese Gefühle auf Gegenseitigkeit beruhen. In Liebe, Peter Parker. Nein, meine liebste Desiree, erneut muss ich dir meine Liebe gestehen. Auch wenn du mir auf keiner meiner Briefe bisher geantwortet hast, hege ich immer noch die Hoffnung, dass du für mich empfindest, was ich für dich empfinde. Ich bleibe dir immer treu ergeben. Wenn du nach mir rufst, eile ich sofort an deine Seite. Wir werden in baldiger Zukunft als Mr. und Mrs. Andrews verbunden sein. Liebe, Peter. 15. Juli und 27. September.
It looks as though Miss Lathan was in the middle of writing something.
It's an article for Brentwell magazine.
Das innere Feuer entfachen von Desiree Lathan für das Brentwell-Magazin. Wir alle kennen den Gedanken des inneren Feuers, ein Begriff, der unseren Sinn für Leidenschaft oder Hingabe beschreiben soll. Aber wie wäre es, wenn dieses innere Feuer eine eher physische Natur hätte? Wie wäre es, wenn also jeder von uns die Möglichkeit hätte, ein echtes Feuer in unseren Körpern zu entfachen?
Igniting the fires within. A bit on the nose, wouldn't you say? Classic Brentwell. They have a reputation for making their writers go to extremes for their articles, all for the sake of entertainment.
Perhaps we should pay their offices a visit, see exactly what it was Miss Lathan was doing for them.
As much as I like this painting, this isn't the time for art appreciation. That's a nice portrait of Miss Lathan. Too bad it was damaged by the fire. The area where the artist's signature should be has been singed and is unreadable. Too bad.
But the date is still legible. It's from this year.
Okay, ist aber kein Hinweis, wie es scheint.
Looks like this one barely managed to survive. Pity. It looked like a nice work of art. The flames must have been fairly high to be able to stain the ceiling like that.
There's a letter in here.
Aha, liebe Miss Lathan, mit diesem Schreiben möchte ich Ihnen mitteilen, dass wir Ihre Bitte, den Begünstigten in Ihrem letzten Willen und Testament zu ändern, erhalten haben. Bitte kommen Sie in die Kanzlei von Usher & Price in der Catman Street 72 in Worcester, sodass wir die Dokumente durchsehen und die entsprechende Änderung vornehmen können. Mit freundlichen Grüßen, Jonas Usher.
This just keeps getting more and more interesting. The law firm of Usher & Price isn't too far from here. I think it's definitely worth paying him a little visit. Odd. Another pile of ashes under the bed. Looks as though whatever she kept underneath got burned too. Or it could be that whatever was under the bed is what caught fire in the first place. Although, there's no evidence of what started it. All that's left is a small piece of cloth. Might as well take it.
The cloth appears to have some oily residue on it. Interesting.
Das ist der Brandbeschleuniger.
Ashes to ashes and all that. I'm glad I was buried. Cremation always seemed a bit too hot to handle.
Now's not the time for jokes, Bill.
Are you serious? Death is the best time for jokes. Otherwise, it's all just a bunch of boo-hoo-hoo this and wah-wah-wah that. And trust me, there's plenty of that in life. Hell, you'd know better than anyone.
All right. Just shut it for a bit while I look over the crime scene, would you? I need to concentrate.
Die Frage ist, warum ist das hier komplett verbrannt, aber die Hände und das Bein nicht? Das ist so, als ob das verbrannt ist und dann die Sachen hingelegt wurden. Verstehst?
Alas, poor Desiree, a woman of infinite riches, of tastes most fancy. Where's all your money now? Come to think of it, that question might be worth answering.
Das stimmt. Wird wichtiger denn je sein.
Ugh, greasy, fetid, stinking ashes. Who knew the human body was capable of producing such a disgusting byproduct?
I'm surprised the coroner hasn't taken the body away yet.
Probably because there isn't much of a body left to take. Either that or Dr. Edwards knows better than to deal with something like this.
That's extremely unlike him. He'd jump at the chance to examine this body. Perhaps we should allow him the pleasure.
I hope you're not suggesting what I think you're suggesting. Miles, do you really want to go carrying around those stinking ashes in your pocket? It'll take ages to get the smell out.
Good point. I'll need to find something to carry them in.
Okay.
I don't think Desiree will be able to give us a hand with this investigation.
Bill?
What? I thought it was funny. I don't think Desiree will be...
Bill?
What?
Okay.
This one's clean. Well, aside from the fact that the rest of the leg is burned off. There's a tattoo on her ankle. It says, "Dancing through life." Hate to break it to her, but that dance is over.
So, wir brauchen irgendwas, womit wir die Asche mitnehmen können. Okay. Aber dass das Bett nicht verbrannt ist.
Was there someone else in the room just now? I thought I heard you talking.
Oh, no. It's just sometimes I think aloud when investigating crime scenes.
I see.
Good save. We don't need any more police officers thinking you're insane.
Ich hoffe, wir können da wieder rein.
Nothing new to ask him about right now.
Ich glaube, ich kann wieder rein. Gut. Gut, wir gehen erstmal raus. Ich glaube, wir haben so 1, 2, vielleicht sogar 3 neue Orte müssten wir jetzt haben. Den haben wir, den haben wir und den haben wir. Ich gehe mal erstmal die offensichtliche Spur nach.
Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the law offices of Usher and Price. May I help you?
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Miles Fordham. I'm a private investigator, and I'm looking for Jonas Usher.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir, but Mr. Usher is not seeing anyone today. If it's a matter of urgent legal importance, you could see Mr. Price.
Seems like they've got some kind of modern message delivery service in here. Of all the things to spend your money on. The plaque says it's a portrait of Thomas Usher. Looks like a real go-getter. That pipe really clashes with the rest of the decor in here.
Begging your pardon, sir.
Yes?
If I may ask, what is the reason for Mr. Usher's refusal to see anyone today?
He has a rather important trial starting tomorrow and doesn't want to run the risk of falling ill.
Falling ill?
Mr. Usher is very particular about his health. Very particular.
I see. Might it be possible to relay a message to Mr. Usher?
Yes, you can leave a message or calling card with me, and I'll make sure Mr. Usher gets it.
Perhaps Mr. Usher will see me when he sees this.
Oh, what's that?
A letter from Mr. Usher to his client, Desiree Lathan.
What? That's private correspondence. How did you get that?
It was evidence I found at a crime scene.
And how is it relevant?
The crime scene in question was Miss Lathan's own bedroom, where she was found burned to death.
That's quite a claim, Mr. Fordham. I can assure you that Mr. Usher deals primarily with facts. Right now, the only fact this letter proves to me is that you somehow rummaged through Miss Lathan's possessions and acquired it.
He does have a point. We'll need something a bit more persuasive.
I actually don't have anything to show.
Right. Please stop wasting my time then. I'm very busy.
Sir, it is of the utmost importance that I speak with Mr. Usher.
And as I said, he isn't taking visitors today.
But it's in regards to his client, Desiree Lathan. Or should I say, former client.
Miss Lathan found another attorney?
No, I'm sorry to be the one to have to inform you, but she's dead. No? It was in today's newspaper.
I haven't read it yet. Mr. Usher forbids it in the office.
But surely he's read it, just because he forbids you reading the paper in the office.
No, I mean he forbids the presence of newspapers in the office. He fears they bring in outside germs.
I see.
In any case, if what you say is true, I'll need some sort of proof.
I suppose just bringing in a copy of the newspaper is out of the question then. We'll have to find another way.
I appreciate your time.
Enjoy the rest of your day, sir.
Ich wollte schon fast Asche mitnehmen und hier reinwerfen, ja. Dann kommt er bestimmt raus. So, ich würde mal sagen, dann gucken wir mal hier erstmal in dem Supper Club. Da ist ein Becher. Den können wir bestimmt
Nobody's
mitnehmen.
bothered clearing this table yet, it seems. Well, if no one's cleaned up, you might as well do them the favor.
Danke. Jetzt haben wir einen Bottich für die Asche.
Excuse me, miss?
Oh, well, hello there, handsome. I've never seen you around here before. Care to join me for a drink?
A bit early in the day, don't you think?
Perhaps I would think, if I wasn't on my third cocktail.
Impressive. You may have just met your match.
The name's Miles Fordham, and you are?
Charlotte Robineau.
Pleasure. Would you mind if I asked you a few questions?
I suppose not. It would help pass the time.
Oh Gott, die ist schon ein paar Tage älter.
Were you here for the Grand Dame's ball the other night?
Of course, we all were. Well, except for Laura. Terrible business.
You mean Laura Dupre?
The very same. Have you met?
I have. In fact, I investigated her attempted murder.
Is that right? I heard she ended up in jail for torturing her servants.
Yes, it was quite disturbing.
I didn't think Laura was capable of such a thing. She always seemed so kind. I guess we all have our dark secrets.
Does that apply to you as well, Miss Robineau?
If I told you, then it would no longer be a secret, would it?
Stimmt.
Fair point. Do you know Desiree Lathan?
I knew her, yes.
When did you last speak to her?
Oh, it's been ages. She and I haven't had much to do with each other for a while.
Why is that?
It's really not important. We just didn't see eye to eye on a few things.
Was she at the Grand Dame's ball?
Yes, she was. Drinking up a storm, as usual.
Bürstenbinder.
Desi really knew how to enjoy herself.
How much did she drink?
Oh, I don't know. She used to outmatch me, and I can handle quite a bit.
Okay.
Tell me a little about yourself.
Why, Mr. Fordham, I hardly know you. Well, that said, I'm always open to making new friends.
Ooh, watch out, Miles. I think she's getting ready to pounce.
What can you tell me about Desiree's death?
Just what I've read in the papers. She burned to death. It's horrible. She certainly didn't deserve to die in such a gruesome way.
Did she have any enemies? Anyone who might have wanted to do her harm?
No. Everyone loved her.
Except you?
Mr. Fordham, I said we haven't had much to do with each other. That doesn't mean I didn't care for her. Now please, let's drop the subject.
Is the name Peter Andrews familiar to you?
Peter Andrews? Is he still around?
I'd be able to tell you that if you told me who he is.
He's desperate. That's who he is. A lovesick fool who is obsessed with Desi. Sent her love letters all of the time.
Well, you know where I can find him.
Why would you want to?
Because I want to question him about Miss Lathan's death.
I suppose that makes some sense. All I remember Desi telling me is that he worked at the Bank of Vespuccia, a clerk or some such. Imagine.
Thank you. That's very
Imagine,
helpful.
genau. Ja. Wie kann ein einfacher Pöbel, ne? Genau.
You've really got a great sense of fashion and style. All the other Grand Dames must be jealous.
Oh, you.
I must compliment you on your lovely hairstyle.
Oh, how sweet of you to say. Though it is getting a bit ragged. I'm having it done this afternoon, in fact. My girl Adelaide is a treasure.
You don't say.
Well, she must be talented to improve on near perfection.
Oh, such a flattering tongue, Mr. Fordham.
Adelaide?
Can I just say you've got the most radiant smile I've ever seen?
Oh, why, that's very sweet of you, Mr. Fordham.
It's true. Not many women your age still have all their teeth intact.
I beg your pardon.
I didn't know you were such a master of the high kick, Miles. You got your foot in your mouth in record time.
I just meant... You know what? Never mind.
Thanks for your time. I'll let you get back to your drink.
Thanks, sweetheart.
Das hat er jetzt nicht wirklich gesagt, oder? Das hat er jetzt
These are
nicht...
all high-end foo-foo liqueurs and cordials. You couldn't pay me to drink that rubbish.
Okay, hier geht's nicht weiter. Es ist wirklich nur ein...
Bridge to Lyon overlooking the House of Parliament. I suppose that seeing that helps the patrons of this club put on airs. That painting depicts a hand dropping a bunch of blood-soaked silver coins into another hand. Definitely sets the bar for the type of people who come here, I'd say.
Okay, pass auf. Wir gehen jetzt nochmal schnell... okay. Wir gehen jetzt nochmal schnell hier hin. In der Hoffnung, dass wir hier gehen können. Einmal noch.
I'm afraid I need to have another look inside Miss Lathan's room, Officer Kane.
All right, but please be quick about it.
So, pass auf, wir gucken jetzt noch mal und vielleicht können wir jetzt etwas Asche mitnehmen.
Oh, Miles, really? You're going to carry the ashes around in a pewter mug?
It's vital to the investigation that we find out exactly what happened to the body. If anyone can tell us for certain, it's Dr. Edwards.
Fair enough. I suppose this isn't the most unpleasant thing you've carried around before. Remember that time we had to go looking for that murder victim's missing head?
I'd really rather not, actually.
Okay, wir haben jetzt was mitgenommen. Wir gucken mal noch mal hin. Wir haben jetzt die Asche. Asche. Wir müssen den Supper Club immer noch untersuchen. Büro aufsuchen, mit dem Anwalt reden, mit Peter Andrews reden, den Gerichtsmediziner die Asche sehen lassen. Das heißt, wenn ich jetzt hier erstmal rausgehe und jetzt hier auf Karte, habe ich keinen Gerichtsmediziner. Den werde ich wahrscheinlich hier übers Polizeirevier holen müssen. Nun gut, wir bleiben hier an der Stelle und zwar mit einem Folgenpäuschen und wir sehen uns in der nächsten Folge wieder. Mal schauen, wie es dann weitergeht. Ich bin gespannt, ich hoffe ihr auch. Bis dahin, euer Firefox.